Debbie, the researcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete, and we're here to help you better your
Better
best.
We've been doing a little bit more research actually recently on our scales, you know, the Better Your Best profile, and we're coming up with some really interesting findings, but I kind of want to go to the perfectionism scale. Remember, we started out in the old days with 2 different ones, and we kind of narrowed down to one that we really liked, and it tells us it's one of the most important discriminators, I'd say, of the scale, the 10 scales we use is perfectionism. And you know, all the great performers are perfectionists.
Well, and what's interesting to me, right, in the sport of archery, because we have theoretical precision and because of the way we score is very precise, I think it's like a magnet to perfectionists. I mean, I have so many high academic perfectionists in outside of their sport, inside of their sport, can't let it go. I mean, it really, really, really drives them, and not necessarily well.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me, Judy. And then, but we do know it across the board too. You know, whether they're CEOs running their own company, or whether, I mean, we have plenty of them in all athletics. I always see, it doesn't matter the sport, you know, that they have high standards. So our perfectionism scale breaks down into 3 subscales. One is standards, one is order, and the other is called discrepancy. And the first 2 are adaptive, which are standards and order, and the last one is maladaptive. It's not good for our
It's not going to work for you.
No. And so, I mean, we get people at the very top of standards. And and I mean, our elite athletes are not at the very top. And so I always want to comment that, you know, you can keep those high standards, but they're not going to happen very often. You know, a 10 for you doesn't happen very often in terms of quality of the shot on a scale of 1 to 10. So as long as they're okay with that and they're willing,
like they have a mindset that I'm chasing that, but I have a true understanding factually that achieving it is not going to happen all the time.
Yeah, so 9s, 8s, and the 7s, they're okay. And that's usually where we're...
From a quality of shot.
Quality of field, yeah. And so, yeah, because you're scoring the other way. But they, once they can give themselves a little room in there, they can shoot more 10s, to be honest. Okay, and then order. Order is high or low sometimes with those people with the high standards, but you know, it's not the critical one, I'd say, because you know, there's plenty of them that perform very well with both high and low order. They just have to be able to perform without order if they're high order, right?
Right, and some of the, we're doing a lot more work on this sort of profile information and looking for traits and characteristics and things like that. And I think what it's showing us is just the importance of that when things aren't going well for a person with high order, how debilitating it can be.
Correct. It can cause a lot of doubt and worry. Okay, but discrepancy is the hard one for athletes to perform with. So if I see myself here and I think I ought to be there, and that gap, remember, it's too big, it's brutal. That's the discrepancy. And you know, the good side of it to me is we're making the gap. You know, here's where I am, here's where I think I should be, and so we're doing it to ourselves. The good news is we can stop doing it to ourselves and close the gap. Every day I'm out there, practice, play, perform, big tournament, whatever. Every day I'm closing the gap, even if it wasn't a great performance.
Well, I think that's the important piece, right, is that to say, perfectionists tend to think I'm only closing the gap if I'm getting better, like that I can see from a score or from technique, right? But the reality is every day you go out there, even if it was a bad performance, bad whatever that is, you're still one step closer because you're learning from that, you're adapting to it, you're moving forward. And that's a mindset that I think we really want our athletes to take on, that says any work I'm doing towards the long-term goal is valuable.
Yeah, I'm always training, 24/7 I'm training. So, you know, it's you train what you'd like to have happen, and, you know, we learn the most from the hard ones. So, yeah, all of it's such good information. It's just information to help better your best.